When when it's time to begin, it's on the Rewind-A with John Pollock and Wai Ting. The 18 that makes sense of these things we see in the ring every week on TV. It's Rewind-A for Monday night. Download it Tuesday morning from the Post Wrestling site. It's Rewind-A for Monday night on USA Now on the John and Wai Take the Mic.
Hello, hello. It is John Pollock and Wai Ting. Coming off Father's Day weekend. Wai, how was the car show?
Oh, it was lovely. Yeah.
Show, car display.
They call it like the Yorkville Exotic Car Show is what it was.
They've been doing this a long time.
I had no idea.
I've been there a few
realize.
times. Well, I shouldn't say as long as I've been living here. I remember a number of years I've just ended up in that area on the weekend that it happens. They basically shut down one of these major streets and they just put these exotic cars of different eras, different makes. It's really something. And I was coming out of a movie with my family, and I was almost sure that I was going to see Wai Ting at this thing. I just knew it because I knew you had gone to this before, and I messaged Wai. I said, "Hey,
I've never been.
Any chance that you are at this thing?" And he said, "No, but we're on our way there."
Yeah, we were. Yeah,
we
my
missed
wife
each other.
We did. My wife decided to take me and just because I mean that's sort of my current obsession actually. It's just like cars and my kid's obsession. He kind of got me into them. So yeah, we just all went. It was pretty crazy. Like there were too many people, I would say.
It was a lot. It was
you
packed.
can't even really take a look at the cars too well. But it was just nice being there. It was nice to have a place to go, and then we ended up like spending the rest of the day. She actually got me. As a gift, she knows that I like, so I drive like just a regular old Civic, but like I kind of like had a real curiosity to learn how to drive manual, and so she got
She
me
bought
like
you a new car.
No, we're not. We're not making that sort of Patreon money yet. What do you think we are? No, she got me in just like a driving lesson, with for somebody who actually teaches like stick, yeah,
Huh.
and I thought it was the coolest thing. So yeah, I'm really excited for that.
Nice. Okay, well,
How was your Father's Day? What movie did you
we saw Toy Story 5.
Was it packed, the theater?
You know what? I was prepared for it, and it totally was not. Like we were in, it was a normal sized theater. I want to guess it was a third full. Like I got there, I thought this was going to be. I was mentally prepared for like an insane packed theater of kids on a Sunday afternoon, and it was totally not. I've only seen the first. I saw the first Toy Story. Maybe I saw the second. I haven't seen any of the other ones. But this is totally enjoyable. It's the idea like these toys, these relics of the past have been overtaken by screens. Kids have no interest in toys anymore. So that's essentially the story and how kids are detached from making real friends. So in some ways it was like watching a documentary. So
Did you like it? Like, I mean,
I did. I liked it. Yeah. No headphones for this one.
Okay, all right. So one that you would recommend.
Wait till it comes out on streaming. Like you don't have to race to the theater for this one.
So I take it you're not raving about it. Like you
but
you
it
didn't
gets.
love it.
I would give it a solid like 6 or 7. I liked it.
I don't know. I don't know if that's good enough for a trip to the movies these days. 6 or 7. It's got to be at least an 8.
Yeah, this is the evil screen, the lily pad.
Yeah. Cute.
The kid has no friends, so the parents think, well, we'll buy you a screen. That'll shore up that hole in your life. Like,
Your kids liked it? They had fun?
My daughter really liked it. My son was. It feels like it's kind of above his age group at this
Isn't
point.
that sad? Like the when they've aged out of like even Toy Story.
He's so into Star Wars at the moment. Like,
okay, that's not sad. That's
nonstop.
That's fine.
He loves it. He just loves.
So what are you gonna do? You're not a Star Wars guy, are you?
No, I'm not.
You gonna join in?
I mean, I'll sit and watch it, but it means nothing to me.
Is Star Wars a headphones movie to you?
No, probably. Yeah.
Wow, you just offended a lot of adults.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, we get there for the previews, and my daughter wants to see everything. So it's like I've got to take her to see Minions. She wants to see Moana. She wants to see Spider-Man. She just wants to see everything.
And
Minions
that means you're going to
watch.
see all of them.
I might end up seeing all of them. So those are the movies I'll be seeing in the next little while for those that are curious. News. We just went through all of the happenings over the weekend. We just got some unfortunate news with Joe Doering, who apparently has entered hospice care. He's been battling brain cancer for many years, and it's come back several times. So certainly our thoughts are with him. We went over the Tommy Dreamer allegations and had a big discussion about that, going through what had been said publicly. Dreamer has not responded publicly to any of the accusations made, but we went much more in depth into that on the XL side, as well as chatting about Jim Ross, who is hospitalized, the update to Forbidden Door, which has added multiple matches over the last couple of days, the big Perros del Mal angle to close AAA on Saturday night. Stardom had a big pay-per-view over the weekend and have announced the most of the participants for the 5-star Grand Prix. What does the UFC Freedom 250 viewership mean? We tried our best to untangle that mess. And WWE Unreal Season 3 is coming back this summer.
Yeah, will we review it?
Wall-to-wall coverage. We are going to start on July 21st. You know how much stuff is going on in that particular time? Dark Side of the Ring starts in a few weeks. Got the G1 starting in a couple of weeks. This, normal wrestling.
I wish they would have spread some of this stuff a little more. Like June, I feel
Dark Side's never
all.
started this late, has it? It usually was like an April, May type of thing. And it'd be like done by the summer.
Yeah. No.
What are we getting? Like 3 hours on TNA to start? They wanted to do the whole season on TNA.
Oh, I didn't know they
wanted to do
the whole
the
season.
6 sides of TNA and do like they did with WCW. They wanted to do with
Cool.
TNA. And this
Okay.
is the most, they're doing 3 episodes on TNA.
Well, there's a lot to cover.
Yes.
Certainly enough for 6, but yeah, we'll see what they do in 3.
Do you think I'll pop up in any of these episodes?
You tell me. Did you get interviewed?
I don't know.
Oh, what a tease.
All right. All of the news can be found at
keeping Paul Levesque secrets.
I'll tell Cody. So you can go to postwrestling.com. You can also jump on board at postwrestlingcafe.com, where you get all of our shows in their entirety. By the way, okay, I'll get back to the plugs in a second.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know my biggest pet peeve in pro wrestling content right now? New Japan Pro Wrestling. On their YouTube channel, they've started posting like classic matches. And it's like, okay, this is smart. They post these matches and then they end like a minute before the finish. So it's like you watch the match, they cut off the finish. And this is on go look at any of these matches, and go to the comments. Fans are livid.
Okay.
I got caught in this because they put up the AJ Minoru Suzuki match from 2014, which I'm a big fan of. And I decided to watch it. And at like 16 and a half minutes, it cuts off. It's like, what kind of promotion is this? I'm not stopping to go order New Japan World to watch the rest of this. I'm pissed off that you just wasted my time here and cut the finish off. And this is on all of their matches they post. Folks, New Japan, if you're listening, this is a horrible idea to try and market your content. Never leave the viewer pissed at the end of your video. It's going to have the opposite effect.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. It is so, like, who would think of this? Who would think that this is the way to get more people?
I would suggest somebody who maybe hasn't used the internet at all, or maybe like is a time traveler from 1999, thinking that this is how you foster, loyalty to a brand. It's not. Unfortunately, it means you have to give value to people, and you have to let them feel satisfied enough that they may eventually come back. You're competing with a whole lot, if you're anybody on YouTube, and this sort of like method of like teasing only frustrates people and only like builds negativity, or like makes them want to seek out alternative means to get their content.
Be honest, if I had described this without naming the promotion, you probably would have guessed it was New Japan. Right away,
100%. Like we're talking about,
it's such a New Japan move.
The promotion that I think is incredibly again, like backwards or just like very I don't know, old in the way that they like police their content on the internet.
Like, just imagine a meeting and someone pitching. He's like, guys, let's post the matches, but let's cut the finish off. We don't want to give them the whole match.
Yeah,
it's like,
again,
dude, you have thousands of matches on your New Japan World library. Like,
yeah.
this is an ad.
Now here's the thing. It's like, so I get it, But I don't think you should post like 90% of the match. Like post a fucking clip, you know, and at like 4 minutes if you're trying to like create.
They're
a
posting
teaser.
like 16 to 20-minute clips, and they cut the finish off at the end. Yeah. It's nuts. Just blows my mind. But anyway, we don't cut off anything, okay? But if you want to catch this coming Thursday, we have book club. It is the 50th anniversary of Muhammad Ali and Antonio Inoki. Who else can say over their weekend that they watched Toy Story 5 and 15 rounds of Ali versus Inoki? This guy, okay? Maybe Neil did the same. And we are the only two people in the world. I don't think Neil watched Toy Story 5. So I think that Venn diagram is exclusive to me. So we're chatting about that later on this week. So you can catch that if you are a double-double or espresso member as we go back to 1976. And we'll go through Vince McMahon's idea of how this should have ended as Antonio Inoki. It would be Vince McMahon channeling Pearl Harbor of a finish for this fight. So we will go back and talk about all of this. Josh Gross's release that he put out 10 years ago. All of that, plus a very busy weekend ahead. Wai and I will be together on Saturday after Night of Champions, Sunday after Forbidden Door, and somehow, through the grace of our incredible staff, we have got coverage on the site of all the 4 big shows. We will have Night of Champions coverage on the site. We will have Slammiversary coverage on the site. We'll have Great American Bash coverage on the site, and we'll have Forbidden Door coverage on the site this coming weekend. Somehow, we will get through it all, because I imagine many of you are not watching all 4 of these shows. I will not be watching all 4 of these shows. So
Don't forget Collision as well.
that is right. We have Collision on Saturday night, the night before Forbidden Door as well. So they're doing that insane Dynamite show and taping Collision right after it.
Yeah.
Very late night for those in Rio Rancho, New Mexico. All right, whole schedule can be found on the site. Today we go to London, England at the O2 Arena, where they had a number 13,428 from WrestleTix. They were here last year at the end of March, several weeks after the Cena heel turn, for an episode of Raw that did feature Cena that did 16,276. So they were down 17.5%. It was with John Cena, though, last year, and it was coming off that heel turn, but regardless. Obafemi starts the show, gigantic reaction, and he talks about destiny, leading him to WWE. I thought it was track and field that led him to WWE, but also destiny. And it allowed him to slay the beast, and it will get him to the final of the King of the Ring and take him to new heights this weekend. And then he will have 2 options of which title to go for. And everyone chants. They like booed the undisputed title and cheered the world heavyweight title. No one wants to see Obafemi against Cody Rhodes. So Jay interrupts. Jay Uso comes through the crowd and does the encore despite Oba's wishes. And Jay says that they counted him out when he won the Royal Rumble. They counted me out at WrestleMania last year, and they don't think I can beat you. But I'm going to silence the haters, shock the world, and then take it to Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. And Oba says, I'm going to destroy you, and you're not the family member I'm worried about.
Good segment, I felt. You know, one that certainly confirmed Oba Roman as our upcoming destination. And when you think about it, you know, the brackets being what they are, having him beat Jay en route to Roman at SummerSlam really makes a great deal of sense. I thought Oba again sounded really, really good in his promo and in his retort. I also find it, like, again, very fascinating to see the way that they're continuing to push Jay in this current form, where he is still very much a babyface, still encouraging the encores, still being like fan friendly, you know, in that sense. But he's certainly much more aggressive in the way that he certainly deals with people like Jacob Fatu, in the way he dealt with Javon Evans after being called Unk. So they are playing with, I think, a very different version of Jey Uso in that way. One that is able to just kind of swing back and forth, but somehow make it all work, I think.
A good segment here. And I do like Oba going back to Dwayne Johnson's 1999 wardrobe.
I mean, I get the sense like this is, I mean, you and I are not exactly up to, I think, you know, modern fashion. So maybe this is just really.
I'd wear this.
Yeah. Well, I know what to get you then for Christmas.
Okay. We also found out that the first hour on ESPN will feature the King and Queen of the Ring finals. So they will put those on ESPN. So that's Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, it's really interesting just to continue to see like what they put on these. Well, if you want to call them free, sure, but like
They are free.
the pre-show, yeah. Well, you have to subscribe to
Cable.
cable and everything, right? But it's not like these are like traditional kickoffs or buy-ins where they put like exhibition matches. They're putting arguably the two most important matches. Yeah, like at least two of the most anticipated matches out there. And this follows in line with like what they did with Oba and Brock at WrestleMania. They're not just letting you like watch scraps. They're putting some of the co-main events, if not main events, right on the free portion, and it continues.
Because if it was Scraps way, fans would be savvy to that, and they'd lose a chance to be on ESPN, and that would be
sure, yeah.
more. You have the ability and. Like you have the ability to have these matches watched by more people if it's something big. I think the afternoon does hurt them a little bit than a nighttime one. But like frankly, if they were doing just the old pre-shows here, like I think they'd lose these slots really quickly.
Sure, yeah. I mean, it also makes me wonder if there's some sort of motivation to like make sure these ratings are incredibly strong just for the sake of advertising. Dollars or whatever. So it just feels like it's a very different game than what these kickoffs used to be.
It's the strategy I think Paramount should have used. Use the big reach to draw people. Like you lock them in for these matches on ESPN. Greater chance they'll go to ESPN Plus afterwards if they're enticed by the show. They recapped Jacob Fatu's attack on Eric Andre, and we cut to Adam Pearce, who's on the phone, and LA Knight appears. Accuses the bloodline of getting away with everything under Pierce. And so Jimmy Uso comes in, and he's upset that LA Knight hit him with a chair on Friday when he had tried to help. And LA Knight, in arguing, tells Adam Pearce to shut up, and in turn, Adam Pearce books a match between these two for later tonight. And we had some comedy here with LA Knight repeating what Pearce said to him. Ha ha. And this match would come later on tonight. Brie Bella and Paige defending against Bayley and Lyra Valkyria for the women's tag titles. Paige's return to England. And Jackie interviews the challengers right before they go out. Lyra says, this is the one. They need this. And Bayley calls themselves the best team for a long time, and they have trust between us. Like, oh boy, get ready, folks. Angle alert. They mentioned Paige has 16 family members in the arena. See, when you don't sell out, you can get 16 comps. Including her parents, who we did not see on the broadcast.
No, did not. Maybe they didn't get the good seats.
Maybe they were up in the nosebleeds. And Michael Cole says this is the first time these teams have ever met in a normal tag team match.
Right. Aside from WrestleMania.
I want that wording to be used more. I want challenges made. I challenge you to a normal tag team match. That's what I want all these matches 2-on-2 to be called from now on.
Then we can build to the abnormal three-way.
The abnormal multi-person, get everyone on the card match. Early on, there's a Bayley to belly on Brie, but Paige saves from the floor. They get the advantage on Brie as Paige is knocked off the apron. Eventually, the hot tag is made, and Paige hits Germans, fisherman suplexes to both, and then goes for the Paige turner that Lyra turns into a Nightwing. Again, it's Brie with the save. And Lyra yells, "This is my house." And she goes for a fisherman buster, but then Lyra just rolls to her feet, and Paige, unaffected by this fisherman, just hits the Rampage and wins her in 8 minutes and retains the titles.
I'm guessing like Lyra was trying to convey she was going for some sort of rolling version of a fisherman buster, but it got countered by Paige. So, for Paige's like big WWE return in England, I thought her reaction, or first of all, I thought the entrance felt really understated. Like I understand she's not the focus of this particular segment, but I just
didn't come out to Queen. They didn't license Queen for this entrance.
You're right, they did not. But it just didn't feel all that special. It wasn't made to feel all that special. Like I would have had her, first of all, like build up to this a little bit more. I would have even had her speak in Gorilla if they had that, but they gave that instead to the storyline focus, which was Bayley and Lyra. So that I understand. I just wish like for this particular moment, her coming back out in a WWE ring as Paige for the first time in England, I just wish that they could have shaped that a little bit bigger. Once the match started, I mean, I don't really know what it says, but these crowds were more interested in singing Bayley's song than they were for cheering Paige. You know, her hot tag Paige, you know, later gets some reaction, but again, it was really nothing all that special. And then all throughout the match, and this is not just this match, but many of the matches on this particular show, I felt the crowd just sound pretty cold to me.
Yeah, it was like, I'm not going to say it was a bad crowd, but this certainly did not fit the mold of these European crowds that we are typically used to, and especially the more recent ones that happened. Like, this just felt like another crowd. It didn't seem like Paige stood out all that much to them. Now, they are doing Paige and JC Jane on tomorrow's show in London as well. But I don't imagine it's going to be all that different than this as well. Like, I just thought the Paige homecoming was going to be a big part of the show, and it was a part of the show.
Unless it's some sort of miking issue, you know, that I don't know, like, we'll probably hear from somebody who went to the show and was like,
"No, man, where I was sitting, my ears were bleeding. It was so loud. You guys don't know."
Very possible. Very possible.
It's always our intent to completely offend a nation when we're simply observing what we heard on our devices here. That's always the goal. It's always a fight against countries. Bayley is frustrated and pulls up Lyra. The two hug. And Lyra snaps and turns on Bayley, does the Enzo here, throwing her face first into the rope twice and gets separated by officials. Lyra charges past them for a Nightwing. And so Lyra Valkyria has now turned on Bayley.
Yeah, as far as like these sort of turns go, I mean, this was about as, I think, telegraphed and as, I want to say, templative of a turn as you'll see in modern day WWE. And like, there's nothing that wrong with it. It is the natural course of direction for Lyra Valkyria at this point. I just wish like there was a bit more sort of like, you know, teasing and turning to make you feel a little bit more effort was put into it than I think what was just done and expected. But I do look forward to seeing what a heel turn unlocks in Lyra Valkyria's personality. In ring, I think she has become like a top tier performer on Raw, certainly. But as a personality, there's still a lot of room for her to grow, and we'll see what being a heel might unlock within her.
She's got to ditch the whole bird lady thing.
Yeah,
I think
I agree.
It's got to, she's got to expand her wings.
Change the look. Yeah, why not?
After the break,
she'd be a vulture now.
Yeah, she should be the pigeon lady from Home Alone 2.
Okay, she'd probably pull that off. Yeah.
Yeah. Then her babyface turn down the line will be her inability to tell her husband to find love. She couldn't trust anyone again after her husband left her.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Been a few years since I've seen that movie. Sorry.
Jackie finds Lyra backstage. She just blows off Jackie. She has no interest in talking. Out comes Chad Gable. Dude, this is the most ridiculous theme in wrestling. This thing is so silly. He comes out and he's like clapping like he's on Kid Street and Gable. It's like, dude, this is a theme right out of like 1983, like I'd hear on World Class or something.
Which I kind of feel is the idea. It's the intent. You want about as all-American, like, I want to say like Team America, fuck yeah, like type of theme song.
That would be a better theme for him, I think, at this point.
But number one, I mean, a theme like that, I think evokes like just sort of like your like campy 80s sort of like, you know, imagery. This is a very different Chad Gable that's not at all trying to get over via comedy anymore. He's a very serious, remorseful, you know.
It's kind of unintentional comedy.
Yeah, and so I certainly don't know if it certainly fits this version of the character. And the clapping and high-fiving of the audience, I think that's a step too far into the babyface lane. Like, it comes across as pandering, and it's taken away a lot of the cool that maybe used to be a part of the character. So I don't like that. I mean, the music I was largely indifferent to, but the clapping and like the high-fiving I think is a bit too much.
Yeah, I love the energy.
Yeah.
Chad says he's had a hell of a month. He lost his mask, but that's not all I lost. I also lost my self-respect, my dignity, and I lost some friends along the way. So he invites Alpha Academy to come out. Their opportunity to stand in a ring on Raw after a long time. Gable goes one by one. First, talking to Maxine about the potential that she had was obvious from the start and says, "You did something I couldn't, winning a singles title. And it was pathetic how I treated you. Tozawa, you have the heart of a lion, and I tried to hold you back from being the ninja you aspired to be. And you didn't deserve that." And then he comes to Otis, and Otis gets a big
I almost
chant.
forgot about the fucking ninja.
Yeah. Chad rescued this guy.
Oh yeah.
He says that you are the most loyal friend anyone could have on earth. You would have taken a bullet for me. You would, he said literally. I'm not talking in cliches.
Yeah, he'd walk in front of a car for him. He literally would. So
I wouldn't.
Maybe he would. Yeah.
Would you take a bullet for me?
I don't think so. No.
I wouldn't either. Like,
I'd push you away. I wouldn't take it for you. That's
Yeah,
silly.
yeah,
There are better
like-
ways of avoiding a bullet.
like if you have enough strength to get in front of me to stop the bullet, you have enough to tackle me. That'd be a lot easier, probably.
Yeah, that would be the thought. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, getting hit by a car, and just let me get run over.
You
It's
know, I'm
fine.
sorry, man.
I'll be
Yeah.
fine. So he says that I'm getting choked up saying this, but we've known each other for 20 years. We trained at the Olympic Training Center together, which I swear to God is a stat or a note we have never, ever heard from these two. In
I
all the
certainly don't
time that
recall.
they've been together, they have never mentioned this to my understanding.
I've recognized they were friends maybe even prior to the team forming, but I didn't realize that they went back that far. Nor, like, what do we even know of Otis's Olympic history
Um,
on screen? Like, how often do they mention any of
dude,
that?
Chad Gable, Chas Betts went to the Olympics. How many people know that?
It's true. You're right. Like, they barely mention that. I mean,
Like
they
they
mention
don't
that.
bring this up at all. They changed his name. Like this guy represented the U.S. in the Olympics. So he says, could you imagine that thinking for Kurt? Is like, hey, we're not going to mention this whole Olympic thing. We're just gonna, and we're going to
what's
change
the
your name.
big deal?
What's the big deal? Anyone could do that.
You know how many members are on the team every year? How many Olympians are there every 4 years?
In addition to
deal.
training together, Otis got to hold Chad Gable's girls right after they were born. He says, I miss you, and I'm sorry. And he offers his hand, and Otis is about to accept, but Maxine stops him. And she tells Gable that everything about you is a lie, and I don't want to give you a second chance. She goes through all the things that Chad did to them and said, it's always been about you, just like this apology is all about you. She said, when I achieved my dream, I realized that I didn't need you, and I don't need you now. And we're leaving you as you wanted to be, alone. And out walk Maxine and Tozawa, and Otis, the man who never has to say a word but can convey everything, is torn. And he ends up leaving with Maxine and Tozawa. What a horrible judgment call for Otis. It's like he stepped right out of this ring back onto main events, and not main events of the show, but main event the show. And Chad is left crying in the ring. I thought Maxine was great here. I thought this is like the best promo of Maxine's career. She hasn't gotten too many of them beyond Netflix commercial breaks. But I thought she was really good here. Chad was very good, and Otis was amazing. Tozawa was physically present for this segment.
He was, yeah. I mean, but it was all about Maxine and Chad Gable here, and we've seen Maxine at least like sort of like maybe I want to say develop these promo muscles in her feud against Becky and then Natalia, but never really as a heel. And she's not a full heel yet, but that she's a heel inside already, right? And this is the type of like heel energy that I think we've been waiting to see ever since those teases with Austin Theory. So I thought she sounded really good at like a what you might consider a first go at a nastier, more serious heelish promo. She did really well. I think the segment overall lays the foundation for, well, again, the full Maxine heel turn with whatever he's got going on with Austin Theory. And whatever like Gable's next chapter is in this redemption arc, it doesn't seem like it's really with the Luchadors that much anymore. It's going to now be with the rest of Alpha Academy because Maxine has those associations with Austin Theory. I wonder if this will kind of like put Gable ultimately in line with the Vision as oppositions.
I could see that coming out of this. I thought Gable and Austin Theory, maybe that's what this eventually leads to.
Oh, man.
And you have the Otis dynamic here. I think Otis, whether he ends up siding with Gable or Otis turns and joins them as well. Maybe Otis gets into the Vision.
I don't know. I kind of want
Paul Heyman and Otis. I love it.
I kind of want to see Gable aim a little higher than Austin Theory. Like, I want him to aim for Logan Paul. I want him to aim for Braun Breaker. Gable Breaker, I think, would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what his ceiling is. Dragon Lee meets with Ray in the back, and Ray tells him to go teach Ethan a lesson. And then Penta tells Dragon Lee, this is your night. And this was not Penta or Ray's night, because this is all they had to contribute on tonight's show. It's your night.
Wasn't really Dragon Lee's night either.
No, it turned out not to be. He took on Ethan Page. And, Dragon Lee had some great moments in this match. He hit a tope con hero right away. And then Page twists the mask and boots Lee out of the ring. And as he goes for Operation Dragon, Page boots him to stop it. And we get a Rana off the apron that sends Page flying over the desk. And then Dragon Lee hits the most insane somersault dive through the ropes. And he clears the desk upon landing. This thing was nuts. And then he pulls down the elbow pad and he does the hidden blade, which only gets a 2 count in this company. Sets up for the Styles Clash, but Ethan headbutts him low and hits the Egoplex and wins in 10 minutes. And he also got cut under his eye here, as Graves says that Ethan Page is now 1 step closer to becoming Prime Minister. Look out, Carney.
But that's how Mark Carney got to his position.
He maybe he meant British Prime Minister, because he just resigned today. But I think Ethan's citizenship might prevent that from happening.
Well, I thought the action was good, but really the crowd was sitting on their hands for this one, and maybe just continues to be more indicative of like what they were actually here for. They weren't necessarily here for the mid-carders. They were not here for the women's tag team match. They were here for the stars, and
there weren't a lot of stars on this show.
There weren't a ton,
No Roman, no Punk, no Becky.
And they kind of let us know that, this audience did. But at this point, like, they weren't as reactive to it. And I don't know if you really felt the action as much as just maybe, again, the audience wanting to see what they wanted to see. I like that covert headbutt from low blow from Page. I think it's the type of offense that feels fitting for this sort of like cerebral character. And to me, he continues to show that he's very capable of like a much larger role than just maybe anything that's going on right now in the mid card.
Jackie speaks with the Vision, including Logan Paul, who was flown over here. They are building the future, and Logan says he is healing faster than any human being in history. I wonder if he's spoken to Conor McGregor about the healing techniques that he discovered when he took himself out of the testing pool that doctors disagree with. He said he would put his money on the Vision tonight, and Braun threatens to rip Seth's head off this coming Saturday. If this had been a few years ago, it would have been a ripping your opponent's head off match.
Oh,
we eliminate eyeballs, and now it's time to rip someone's head off.
Oh, okay. I thought you were referring to something else.
Oh, okay. You can fill me in after. I'm drawing a blank. Sol Ruka video. She says, I'm a thrill seeker inside and outside of the ring. I love challenging myself and making a fool of myself, because I've done that countless times, but I love getting back up. I'm unapologetically myself.
Yeah, this felt very much like a promo crafted around her missing those first few soul snatchers, as if to maybe answer all the critics that I don't know, have been talking or were talking more about those and how.
Well, not a good day, because she ended up like privatizing her X account today.
Yeah.
That spot with Liv Morgan.
You know what? I guess I wonder if she would have shot this maybe after the weekend too. But I mean, they must have written this for her before that. Yeah, I don't know.
We can talk about this. Like, it's a spot where Soul she did like a reverse springboard coming off, and it was just like, it's not a great angle you get at this, but basically comes down, and it looks like she comes down on Liv's right knee, and Liv rolls out, and there was concern if Liv had like hurt herself. And of course, online, I guess everyone just torched Sol Ruka for this, and she ended up privatizing her Twitter account. But, based on tonight, if there were concerns, it seems like they were ill-founded that there's any problem with Liv. Not only was she on this show, she had no bandage or brace on her knee, and she got physical on the show. They're promoting the match, so it looks like she's good to go for Saturday.
Yeah, I'm not a wrestler, but like, I certainly don't think watching the clip you could blame Sol Ruka solely on anything. Like, it's a professional wrestling match that requires two people, and again, I certainly, it's not the type of thing where you would place blame, I think, only on one party for something like that. Really unfortunate. I can now only imagine the barrage of like tweets and etc. that she's received. Somebody, as young as she is, sucks. So it's too bad. And I would almost encourage her to keep her account private or just deleted, period.
Great advice for a lot of people. Like you don't need this. Like whatever you are shutting off, you're gaining more by turning it off. Mm-hmm. Turn the lily pad off.
Yeah, that's right.
So Jackie brings Io out and she proclaims she's going to beat Liv this weekend to become queen. Liv comes out and claims that she is better than Io and I'm only missing my crown. I'm going to beat your best friend, Rhea Ripley, at SummerSlam. So that was interesting that they're at least bringing up Rhea here as a possibility for SummerSlam because she's just like MIA at the moment with this injury. Io calls her arrogant and questions if she could put a crown on that big head. And then she screams at her in Japanese. I can only imagine what she called her here. And sends Morgan out of the ring with a springboard drop kick. And Liv was reeling from this attack by Io. So that was our setup with the two segments involving our finalists for Saturday.
Good line from Io at the end here.
Which one was that?
Are you sure that crown is going to fit on that big head?
Yeah. Yeah.
Great line.
We will find out. Jimmy and Jay are in the back. Jimmy says he's got LA Knight taken care of. Jay just needs to focus on the King of the Ring. So Jacob Fatu comes in wearing an Umaga shirt, and he has asked, why were you on SmackDown speaking to Solo? It's like, don't you watch the show? Roman sent me. And he says that Solo got the message. And when they asked, what's the plan if Solo shows up? Jacob said, if Solo crosses the line onto Raw, he won't like what he finds. Yeah. Turns out he did because he faced no repercussions from Jacob on this show.
Yeah, when Solo said he was going to show up on Raw, I mean, I thought he meant like 3 days after. No, he's going to, smartly wait until they were back on this side of the world.
Smart guy.
Yeah.
Dirty Dom and JD confront Danhausen. What'd they do last week? They left $100,000 and Danhausen took the money and spent it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
He curses JD, who then gets electrocuted, and then Danhausen disappears. So JD and Dominic are after their money, and JD might have an irregular heartbeat after this electrocution.
Yeah. I mean, people keep getting shocked by this Danhausen's various machines, and it's kind of had, like, I would say, somewhat consistent effects on its victims. I mean, in Miz and Kit Wilson, we see that it somehow reduces them to only speaking their catchphrases, and I guess Zack Ryder as well. Yeah, it kind of had that effect on Zack Ryder as well. With JD, I can't fucking tell you what any of his catchphrases are, nor like, I don't know what sort of prior identity they would even like have.
He got shocked into Jordan Devlin.
Yeah, possibly. So, I mean, on this episode, it just seems like he's actually shocked, and that he's suffering from he's got amnesia. So it just made him forget.
Yeah. I don't think they can do the Goldust deal where he gets Tourette syndrome. It might upset some people if you went that direction.
Maybe. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, some great stuff going on here. LA Knight takes on Jimmy Uso. This one went 12 minutes. I don't know if Jimmy Uso felt ready to go 12 minutes here. This was like his third singles match this year. So he suplexes Knight on the edge after the break, misses a hip attack. Knight does a DDT, catches LA Knight for a Samoan drop, but then the other is blocked. And so Jimmy connects with a super kick, and Knight then scales to the top for a superplex when Solo Sikoa appears in the crowd, distracting Knight, and it leads to Solo then hitting a Samoan spike, but onto Jimmy. And LA Knight is surprised. He doesn't understand what the motive is by Solo, so he just follows with a BFT, and he pins him in 12 minutes and 6 seconds.
Right. Yeah. So this is Knight, I guess, now not really sure about what exactly Solo's sort of allegiance is. No. So yeah, Solo was on the show.
Yes, he was.
Yeah,
he showed up.
Yeah.
But Jacob Fatu was nowhere to be found.
Right. Yes. Mm-hmm.
The plot thickens. Yeah. I don't know. This match didn't quite click to me.
No, this crowd was chanting, "This is awesome" for it. I personally can't really quite agree. I thought this was unremarkably average. I don't know. I've been
I don't know.
enjoying the
Jimmy
story.
just felt like, not.
I've been enjoying the story, but I can't really say I'm looking forward to any sort of combination of like Jimmy versus LA Knight or Jay versus LA Knight or Solo Sikoa in the mix at all.
They threatened
Not
that this
really.
could go on forever, of LA Knight going through all the family members to try and get to Roman Reigns. It's like, okay, buckle up. This is a long ride. Jackie interviews the Street Profits. This is their chance to become 5-time champions, which they're including their NXT title run as part of this 5 championships.
Did they include that for Charlotte?
I think they do.
Okay.
Yeah. Angelo says he's 100%, and Ford says that tonight they will show that the vision is impaired.
Yes. Has
Good
no
one.
one used that before?
That's good. Jackie goes up to Bayley, and Jackie, the intrepid investigative reporter, did you see this coming? Bayley responds, yeah, did you see that pre-match interview we did? Totally saw this coming. No, she walks off. She has nothing to say. She's in shock.
Yes.
We haven't come up with reactions yet for either of them. So Raquel is with Roxanne Perez, and Raquel's upset that she lost in the semifinal. Dominic and JD come in selling the curse and the electrocution, and Liv comes in. She's furious about what Io did, and Raquel tells her to settle down. We're all not doing so well. And then Liv says that Raquel, you've been downgraded to go after Sol Ruka's title, while I will go after the world title. And then they mention, well, what about the $100,000? And Liv has a solution for that. And Perez says, well, what about me? And Liv just ignores her. And so Raquel and Roxanne, they are not happy with Liv Morgan because they have got the short end of the stick here.
Yeah. So yeah, the Danhausen thing came when she tried to bribe Danhausen, right? With the money.
Oh, that's right. That's
Isn't
right.
that-
Yeah, she came in to try and bribe him, and that's when she stole the money.
I think
Right.
so.
Because I didn't remember any
there's
segment
money.
with Dominic and JD with him, but you're right. We had the Liv segment where she was hitting on him.
Okay, so there is still a Danhausen, maybe Liv Morgan, Dominic Mysterio interaction ahead. JD, who knows what that is?
I hope that's how the Queen of the Ring ends,
What?
with Danhausen.
Oh, you know what? I don't know. One can only hope. And then we got Raquel versus Sol, and Roxanne still teasing tensions with the group.
Mm-hmm. Yep, this is our 18-month preview of the Judgment Day
Well,
infighting.
I imagine it would come to a head at SummerSlam. with whatever Roxanne.
SummerSlam? This year?
This one, yeah. With Roxanne and Liv, I would think. If not, soon after.
Graves has a sit-down interview with Seth Rollins, and he thanks the Street Profits. They have helped him get to this point. Graves asks him about the risks of going to Saudi Arabia. Says, you might not walk out of Riyadh. I'm not going to make any comment. Seth says he has put all his chips in on the table. This match will prove who Rollins is. And if I win, then I can get past Braun, put the Vision in the rearview mirror, and then I can move on to regaining the title that I never lost. So they're setting up a lot of different possibilities here. Like, yes, you have the King of the Ring winner, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it doesn't lead to, like, I could see Rollins in a really big match at SummerSlam. I think it's a guarantee Punk is going to be in a really big match at SummerSlam as well. So where all of this stuff shakes in, like, Brock is going to be on that SummerSlam card. And if it's not Oba, it kind of makes no one else makes sense for Brock unless they go with the Wai Ting.
It's not my idea. No, I'm not taking credit.
No
for it.
one else has suggested this.
Oh, please.
Besides Wai Ting.
Somebody suggested it to her. Anyway, okay. Yes. Yeah, honestly, I have to say, like, with Rollins and Breakker, I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's just the fact that, like, we've kind of peaked with the feud, or the fact that it's really gone on for so long. Like, it's, you know, it's
I think this is
over half
I think
a year.
I think this finishes, and I think Rollins is winning this match.
It's just like the third match doesn't feel that hot to me. It's not. It's not like the type of like rivalry where like I can't wait to see this finally settled. It's almost more like, okay, like let's kind of get this over with so we can, you know, go on to something else. But yeah, so we'll see.
Pierce is with Chad Gable, and Chad Gable brings up facing Penta, but Dominic and JD come in and state that he doesn't deserve the next title shot. They refer to Alpha Academy as losers, and Dominic wants an apology from Gable too, because I'm the king of the luchadors that you offended. I laughed at that. That was a good line. And Gable says, you were the one that sent me to Mexico to begin with. And he wants a match with Dominic, and Dominic says, well, how about you face JD? And they agree for Gable and JD next week.
Yeah. So what is this like shocked JD McDonough gonna look like in ring? I wonder.
Maybe he's gonna forget about this match, and then he's gonna show up Monday and not realize that he's got a match with Gable.
Okay.
Sounds like a hilarious start of a new character for JD. And the main event is Austin Theory and Braun Breaker against the Street Profits for the tag titles. The Vision controlled Ford at the beginning until Dawkins did his regular hot tag. This guy's just always great when he comes in here. Silencer, they do the Doomsday Blockbuster, but then Logan saves Theory by putting the foot on the rope, which is a spot I'm definitely tiring of in all companies. Logan gets ejected, and then Breaker hits his leaping clothesline to Dawkins on the desk as they go to commercial break. This crowd was so hot that they start chanting CM Punk.
They were chanting for Roman Reigns. They were chanting for CM Punk. I think there was like a realization that this was the last segment on the show, and they were not getting the big stars that they came here for.
Yeah. Maybe this will entice them to buy tickets for tomorrow night when these people will also not be here.
You might get some of those chants tomorrow too. We'll see. Well, they're going to get Cody at least.
Breaker sets up for his torpedo spear, but Ford kicks him. And then they manage the Steinerizer onto Ford. Dawkins is in for the save. And then Breaker throws the steps into the ring. And Dawkins sends Braun into the post. Logan returns ringside with brass knuckles. And then Joe Hendry makes his return, chasing Logan away. But Logan has left the brass knuckles on the apron, and Theory grabs them. But then Seth Rollins arrives through the crowd as Braun is focused on the entrance looking for Seth, and this allows Rollins to nail Theory with the brass knuckles, and Breaker chases Seth through the crowd, leaving Theory alone to take the anointment from the heavens as the Street Profits win the tag belts in 19 minutes and 37 seconds to become 6-time champions.
Yeah. You know, again, watching this match, it just really felt like a bad night for anybody who wasn't a main eventer in this company. Again, this felt like a match where the crowd wanted to see stars, and while the match I thought was passable, it was not maybe special enough to overcome that sort of like expectation from the crowd, you know? Again, okay, but not necessarily something that I felt was like so hot that you would want for a title change like this. And now we got Hendry and Logan, which seems to be continuing. And boy, is Joe Hendry, I think, you know, incredibly thankful that Logan continues to, I guess, appear on television and travel to these dates despite, you know, recovery.
What can Logan do at the moment?
I mean, Joe Hendry
besides
isn't
run.
But Joe Hendry isn't exactly the type of like character that needs to be wrestling anyway. So like, if you can run, he can probably do enough, right? You know.
If this guy had like a dislocated shoulder or something, I'd be like, sure. He's got a torn triceps. Like, this is going to be a while, man. I don't care how fast this guy is healing compared to every other human on earth. Yeah. It's going to be a while before this guy is able to do anything.
Yeah, but, you know, maybe you want to say credit to him for continuing to make these towns into just, like, have a role on the show. And certainly, like, you would expect some, like, the Joe Hendry story to continue and hopefully finish by the time Logan might actually take some actual time off. And then we got, of course, Rollins and Breaker. Profits winning the championship. I mean, I think that it's.
I think they kind of had to win these belts at this time.
Yes.
I just think people had seen them go for the belts so many times and come up short. It's the same critique we always have, that this is a non-existent division on the show. Like, what, they'll face the War Raiders?
No, they're on SmackDown now. I mean, they're in AAA, but they're doing a program on SmackDown.
So anyway,
but the Profits, like, I like the titles on them, sure, but I again, I don't know what it is, because they tried to evolve the characters that went horribly, you know, with Bobby Lashley and everything. The Pride, thank you. So maybe just like being these same characters is good, but I don't find them maybe as interesting together as I did for those couple of weeks when like it was Ford teaming with Rollins and they had, you know, something a bit more unique about them. So I'm kind of curious to see what they could do to really freshen things up. I can see an Usos match, with the profits, maybe on a bigger stage.
Yeah.
So
that's something.
Hmm?
Yeah, I didn't find this to be the most compelling edition of Raw. I like the main event. I like the fact they did the title switch. It was a good match, but I didn't think anything really got above the level of, passable TV matches on this show. I mean,
I thought it was a good show, like not necessarily for the in-ring, and partially that's just because this was a crowd that I don't think cared that much about the wrestling they actually got. And the wrestling itself was like, again, okay, but not like enough to overcome that. But I thought like the sort of talking segments were pretty good. Like Oba and Jay, I thought had a good interaction. I thought like Io and Liv, as brief as that was, I thought was like good. What else did you have here? Alpha Academy. Like I thought that was a strong segment with Maxine. And then you had the Lyra turn as well.
I think the segment setting up the King of the Ring finals, those went off fine. I think there's a level of interest in those matches. I mean, it's very similar to the story we have for Forbidden Door, with these matches setting up big matches for the summer for both companies. On top of that, and yeah, beyond that, I mean, this was a show where it's kind of focusing on your, kind of the second level of your talent on Raw, without it's sometimes operating in the shadow of like your big stars. But that's a big hill for this company to climb this year, is establishing these performers as our new people. And they're doing a great job with Obafemi, but it is overall like there is going to be this turnover, and it's getting these stars over to the level, while at the same time your big stars are still around. They still occupy these big spots, and just getting those chants in that main event tells you like the audience sees those as the big stars, and it doesn't matter who is advertised or not. They want it. They pay for these shows, and that's another part about like these big ticket prices. You have heightened expectations of what you are getting for these huge prices. You want to see all the stars, even though there was like nobody thought CM Punk was coming back here. It was like that would be an unrealistic expectation, but it doesn't matter. When you're there, you want to see the big stars.
Yeah. So, when a Punk does come back, what show do you think he'll be on? Raw or something?
I can't imagine it. Like, I know he's like people are expecting him back on SmackDown, but I can't imagine that July 6th show in Chicago comes and goes without CM Punk on that show. Like, even if he's going to be moved to SmackDown and work with Cody, I would bring him back in Chicago. And because I think that's also one where you need, like, don't you need some kind of explanation of why he's going to SmackDown? Like, I think that one does command a storyline reason.
In Chicago, no matter what.
Yes.
They kind of give exception to somebody in their hometown. But following that, I only ask because, like, with Roman seemingly still on some sort of part-time schedule, it really highlights, I think, the gap when he's not there as your big star, Whereas on SmackDown, you at least have a Cody Rhodes who can sort of fulfill that. So, with Punk and Cody, like, being full-time guys you would expect, that kind of leaves Raw with a big gap if it were just relying on Roman as your superstar, right?
All right. Well, again, next week, Raw will air at 6 p.m. Eastern time from Atlantic City, with the double taping of Raw and SmackDown in New Jersey. So that will be coming up later on. We are going to be back later on this week. We will have Rewind-A-Dynamite on Wednesday evening, whenever that 8-match show concludes, and we'll take a look ahead at some of the weekend events that are coming up, with maybe some miniature previews of those. Thursday, we have Book Club and a new Pollock and Thurston, and then, of course, Friday night, Wai Ting and Neil Flanagan, the last 3-hour SmackDown, according to the schedule.
Yeah. You know what? We will hold a service, a memorial for 3-hour SmackDowns, of course, until its rebirth in January.
You could always just tack on Braun Strowman's eating show and then do 3 hours every Friday.
I'm sure Neil would love that. Yeah.
Yes. All right, everybody. We're going to say goodbye on the YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button on your way out the door. We're back this weekend. We will have 3 shows here on the channel. Saturday night after Night of Champions. Sunday night after Forbidden Door. Then you'll have your fill of us this weekend. Like, subscribe, illegally share this video, send it to all your friends, demand that they listen to it. Or you could custom edit this where it cuts us off mid-sentence on a point. Do the New Japan marketing.